Hi guys, welcome! In this video, we'll dive into the most up-to-date build for Saitama in PVE. Saitama is one of the best classes for boss hunting as he can deal tons of damage to a single target. And in the upcoming return of the One Punch Man Call of Event, Saitama will receive more buffs that will further increase his damage output. In this guide, we'll cover everything you need to know from stats, skills, runes, gears, cards, upgrades, and battle setup to guide you in optimizing your Saitama's damage potential against MVP monsters. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. First up, let's take a look at the upcoming buffs for Saitama. Saitama's core passive skill Supreme Power will be enhanced. At level 4, the additional damage from his core passive will be doubled. And at level 7, during concentration battle, his damage to the dual target will increase by 50%, while the damage he receives from the dual target will be reduced by 50%. And second, his workout buff can now directly stack 3 times upon cast. Attacking monsters will also no longer cancel the stack effect, so he will no longer need to do push-ups mid-battle. In addition, the tier 5 effect of his signature weapon, Holy Glorious Punch, will increase the max limit of workout to 5 stacks. This means he only needs to do 2 push-ups to receive 5 workout stacks, granting a total of 250 points of strength and vit, 100% physical and magic damage reduction, and up to 100 points of agi depending on his rune. This buff will last even if he switches weapons. Thus in PvE, Saitama can just use a tier 5 Holy Glorious Punch when buffing, then switch to his main weapon Titan when attacking. Up next, for attribute point distribution, focus on increasing both strength and agi. Strength increases raw physical attack and is a major factor in calculating enforcement of justice and Supreme Power's damage output. Every 10 agi is converted to 1% movement speed, which then increases physical attack by 5 and the final damage of enforcement of justice by 0.75%. As for the remaining points, allot it on vit for survivability and to increase the limit of the damage ignored due to the intuition of hero passive skill. As for damage modifiers, these are the ones that can further boost Saitama's damage output against monsters. Saitama's kit already provides an insane amount of strength, vit, and agi. He also gains 100% movement speed and 50% PDA for up to 63% of the time. Additionally, he can reduce the physical damage reduct of enemies by up to 5% every time successive attack hits the target. Hence, you can prioritize increasing ignore physical def, physical pen, elemental damage, damage to MVP, skill damage, and final damage. Up next, let's take a look at Saitama's runes. Maxing out the core passive skill to level 7 should be your topmost priority as it enhances your damage and survivability against a dual target. Aside from activating the second line effect of his runes, you should also focus on getting a high first line value on these essential runes. First is the Limit Break Star rune, which extends the duration of fast move from 10 seconds to up to 16 seconds, and thus can greatly improve his DPS in long fights. Second is the Warm Up Star rune, which grants up to 80% chance to remove all buffs on the target before attacking with Enforcement of Justice. Just note that MVPs in Museum Island, Lost Isle, and Ghost Palace are able to rebuff every half second. And third is the powerful Suppress rune, which allows each successive attack to reduce the enemy's physical damage reduction by up to 5%. Just note that this debuff can be cleared every half second by MVPs in some instances. As for attribute runes, prioritize leveling up the following for improving damage. And for the Arcane runes, recommend getting Wide Blade rune for boosting your final damage and Spirit rune to prevent running out of SP during long fights. Up next, let's dive into the recommended equipment set and cards. First, for weapon, a plus 15 Titan would be the best in slot as it significantly increases your damage to large-sized monsters. In addition, you should also prepare a tier 5 Holy Glorious Punch for switching as it allows workout to gain 5 stacks instead of just 3. Your weapon should be enchanted with Tri-Blade 4 or Morale 4 and inlaid with any of the following cards. Since Titan already boosts damage to large size considerably, you may opt to use one Drake Star card or Minoru Star card and combine it with a brand new Shadow Saitama card for increasing single target damage or Cobalt Leader card for survivability. For offhand, the best in slot is a Dragon Bone Shield as main equipment and either a Skeleton Bracer or Vink Magic Bracelet as phantom equipment. Your offhand should be enchanted with Armor Breaking 4 and inlaid with any of the following cards. For armor, you may use a Dream Eater's Disguise with 20% elemental damage if using Fire, Water, Wind, and Earth element, or Voodoo Armor if using Holy Element. As for the fandom equipment slot, the two best options are Shine Hole's Robe for boosting raw physical attack or the Chosen's Gown for boosting damage to large size and gaining fear immunity. Your armor should be enchanted with Morale 4 and inlaid with Poitada Star card if you're not using the Era Fire Seed relic. For Garment, the universal choice for physical skill damage dealers is Brave Warrior's Pauldron with 12% skill damage as main equipment and White Duke's Manteau as phantom equipment. Your garment should be enchanted with high PDI and inlaid with any of the following cards. For footgear, the options for main equipment are Dragon Slayer War Boots for boosting physical attack and physical pen, or Overlord War Boots for boosting physical damage. While for phantom equipment, you may either use the Little Fairy Slippers or St. Mary's Cloth Shoes. Your footgear should be enchanted with high PDI and inlaid with Swordsman Senya MVP card for increasing skill damage. For accessories, recommend using any of the following combinations depending on the element you're using. Essence of Scorching Flame and Flame Feather if focusing on Fire element, Fluorite Button and Brooch of Spring if focusing on Water element, or Pendant of Eugen and Hermit's Bundle if using other elements. All accessories should be enchanted with Sharp Blade 4 and high PDI, and inlaid with Devil Governor card and Alien Valkyrie Raffreezy card for boosting damage. For Headwear, these are my top picks for each slot, just choose depending on availability and the stat you're lacking. As for Headwear enchantment, aim for Sharp Blade 4th enchant on your tail item and Morale 4th enchant on your face and back items. And for Headwear card, you may use any of the following for enhancing damage. Up next, here are the other upgrades that you can invest in to further boost your damage. For Acer Monument, activating all the nodes will grant the following stats. Notably, it provides 15% physical damage and movement speed, 12% fire, water, wind, and earth damage, and 10% damage to large size and medium size. For guild buffs, maxing out your blessings and prayers will grant additional raw physical attack, ignore physical death, physical pen, elemental damage, physical piercing strike, and elemental piercing strike. For Oracle Mirror Extract, the options are Bilkusarn for damage to MVP, Combustible Knife for physical pen, Chieftain's Axe for ignore physical death, or Claw for physical attack. For Ancient Relics, you may focus on increasing damage using Lord of Vane or Era Fire Seed. You may also opt to improve survivability using Horn of the Unyielding. For Equipment Memory, here are the attributes that you should prioritize for boosting damage. For Multi-Drop, you can unlock the following classes to get more strength, agi, and bit. For Adventure Handbook, just focus on collecting items and achievements that grant physical attack when unlocked or deposited. Finally, let's take a look at some tips for using Saitama in battle. First, place the following skills on the manual and auto skill bars. Once you're all set, use the following consumables that can boost your damage, such as mill bees and food buffs. Knuckle-type weapons have 50% damage penalty against large size, so Precision Stone is a must if you don't have Drake Star card or +6 Tea-Time Pastry card. By default, Saitama's attacks are neutral, but it can be converted using elemental converters, Grease Aspersia, or these cards. Before initiating combat, switch your weapon to Holy Glorious Punch and stack the workout buff 2 times to get 5 stacks, then switch back your weapon to Titan. Next, cast Fast Move to get 100% movement speed and 50% PDI. After that, you can start approaching the boss and then cast Concentration Battle. Make sure to turn on your auto to do your skill rotation. If you need to escape while successive attack is channeling, just ride your mount and move to cancel it. And there you have it, my updated Saitama DPS build guide for PvE. Overall, this Collab Hero class is one of the best boss hunters in the game, while doing pretty decently in most PvE instances. Will you be building Saitama in the future? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, that's it for this video guys. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching this guide. If you're new here, I would love you to consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you back. Thank you for watching and see you in our next episode.